Gurren Lagann is crazy. Part two. You can say Gurren Lagann Part Two is crazy. Oh, Part Two to type. As always, gonna prefer a like. Used to ask Gurren Lagann. We've done this drill before. It's you can't miss on these. I have my doctorate in the show. This is my I had a Simo figurine. That's the only figurine I own, by the way. Back there by my TV. As always, the main man Sly. Silent Till Time if I do some content. Without further ado, just slide right in, bruh. Talk to me nice.
A little boy born underground with only the purpose of digging, start beefing with God, and throwing galaxies around in a mecha suit. Well, shit. Maybe if you watch.
This is where Gurren Lagann it enters like power scaling territory. If you're a power scaler, you're not gonna like this statement, and I know this statement can be refuted. But I know he's not that far from where I'm about to put him. I got Simon at Boundless. Because he falls under a Saitama effect, and after watching this video, you'll understand.
Watch the video, you'd find out, bro. I just started, okay? Have some patience. But you should probably go back and watch part 1, then come back to this. But anyways, thanks for all the views. I can finally afford a single piece of bread. But the point is, if you want to be a YouTuber, upload that video. If you want to do OnlyFans, suck that dick, bro. Just stay grinding, okay? Do that. You want. It's been 7 years since Team Gurren took back the world from the Spiral King. They got like flying cars, they got communist statue with his Squirtle Squad glasses. This is how the world would look if Lil Baby stopped threatening to release new music. But honestly, I don't like part 2 of Gurren Lagann as much as part Baby stopped
You said what are his demands?
threatening to release new music. But honestly, I don't like part 2 of Gurren Lagann as much as part 1. Wait. Feet.
Part 2 is fire, and you tripping.
Maybe I do. But nowadays, Simon is the Hokage, but he's still fresh, unlike other Hokage. They must have had my son Naruto going to the Chinese barber, bro. Because his haircut right here is a biblical punishment. But right now, they're having a serious meeting with all the OGs of Team Gurren. The Spiral King said, when 1 million monkeys walk the earth, we will perish. You really believe that cap rap ass nigga? Nigga, shut your ass up, bro. Y'all really useless, bro. I'm the only one stepping out here. Y'all gonna see, basically every character in the show has changed for the worst. Rossi, especially talking crazy for.
Everybody did not change for the worst. Rossi changed for the worst in terms of our enjoyment of him, but it makes him a better character, like a better written character.
Someone that never had no hands. But this right here might be the most crazy switch up. We see the chief of Kamina's old town, and he was like,
you know, I put my son Kamina on. We used to go on tournaments and shit. I taught him everything he knows.
Like, bro, did you think I forgot who you was? Didn't you try to starve?
Literally, one of the items on the dish is the steaks from the village. He's like, I used to feed that nigga every day. You go back like 14 episodes. This talking about some people who try to go to the surface don't eat, and now you're on the surface feeding
Kamina and put him in prison, bro?
Right.
We didn't forget about you. We see Simone visiting Kamina's statue when Rossi pulls up and he's like,
hey, Commander, sir, there's been a major attack. Look at this.
And it's literally V-Roll out here fighting, bro. We are not worried about his bum ass 7 years later, bro. What do you mean a major attack? It's V-Roll. This is like calling me at 1 a.m. to say you're going to sleep. How it been 7 years and he's still not employed? Bro takes ass whoopings for a living. But listen to what Rossi said. Oh no, I'm gonna have to handle him right now.
No, Commander, you don't fight anymore. You're a commander.
Who the hell did this kid think he was?
Like, you take it then, nigga. Like, you're my vice chief. Like, you feel me? You're my vice chief. I get you want me to do my job, and protecting the people is a part of my job. And as my right hand man, especially with how nerdy he is, you should be willing to do the work that you got me doing. And you should let me do the PR stuff. You should let me do the protecting people stuff. You should let me do the stuff I'm good at.
Was telling Simone what he does and what he don't do. And you're glazing, because who is Commander, sir? But we see them boys out here fighting, and it's looking real dangerous.
And
like the streets of Oregon. But I'm confused
Simone.
why there's 2 orphan children fighting on the front line instead of Simone. But this right here's where we learn that Vero actually bossed up. Now we got some hands.
Yeah.
Just kidding. This nigga got knocked out like Yamcha. He got captured
I thought he was talking about how he was trying to save
by 2 orphan children, and then got forced into a Zoom call with Simone. Viral,
said, yeah.
why you trying to be a boss nigga? You a little nigga.
Bro, what?
You could never guard me.
Okay, but at least I'm not Kim Jong.
Look at the fucking cape he got on. He look
Trying to be a
hunchback.
boss nigga. You a little nigga.
Bro, what?
You could never guard me.
Okay, but at least I'm not Kim Jong-un out here. Y'all out here enslaving people, removing them from their homes. I was helping them.
Then Rossi joined the Discord call and ended it.
no.
That boy Rossi been moving slimy behind their back. Why you
Yeah,
moving
bro.
like that, twin?
It's for human population verification. Oh, that's a bar. Hold on, write that down real quick.
Don't write that weak shit down, bro.
You understand nothing, Simone.
Now I watched the show about.
And this is the problem. He never had friends. Like, he never, like, despite the fun that he had with them, he never let himself bond with them. Like, if that's your man's, yo, this concerns me. Let me tell you about it. Don't talk to him as commander. Talk to him as your bro, your day one. You know what I'm saying? But instead, he's like, you know nothing. That is like annoying. It's like when niggas be like, you wouldn't understand. Just explain it to me. If you're a nobody saying that to me, I don't care. The reason I care is because I care about you, but you are not trying to explain it to me. So it's like, you feel
about
me?
10 years ago, and I
that's
understand
it.
why I didn't like part 2 as much. This dude was a bitch ass nigga, and also he had some glaziers with him too.
Hello, sir. You're the only one keeping this government
Sir.
around. Simone is a fraud.
Brother, you would be crawling around in some grave if Simone didn't free everyone from a literal mecha god. But that night,
bull.
when Simone's chilling, the 1 millionth person is born, and a
And it's
defense
a
system
die
activates. Wait, never mind. That's
store.
just a Pokemon.
Keep
That's the
telling
wormhole. That's an Ultra
niece.
Beast. Y'all need to go in there to find shinies, bruh.
Ugh, why
Everything is
you
the
start throwing it
Pokemon. That's the wormhole. That's an Ultra Beast. Y'all need to go in there to find shinies,
I've never
bruh.
seen this emote.
Everything is normal, okay? Oh, shit. He just blew up half the city with one blast.
Yep.
And then Nia looked at the moon and got mind control. They sent out a bunch of gunmen, but they couldn't even damage this monster, which I have to say, the design is so ugly, I'm sorry. Simone had to pull up and 200 pump that little CGI demon, but it split
Yes,
into a bunch
sir.
of, aw, wait, pretty color. Never mind, they're bombs. They're bombs. Meanwhile, Rossi
I don't like they got mad at Simon for that because it's like they had no way of knowing that. But like the argument they used was like, oh, if you would have waited for us to handle it, they were destroying the city. If I waited for you to handle it, this is what I don't like about stuff like this. It's happens in like the Arrow too. Any show with drama, sometimes I be in my head like, why is your argument not like stronger, bro? These niggas are pressing you about little shit. Okay, people have their insurance is gonna have to happen. No one died, by the way. It was really just some injuries, which is still crazy, and property damage. If I didn't step in, people were going to die. You claim you have something that would have worked, but we don't know if it would have worked. And if I didn't step in, we would have known that they released explosives on death. So we needed to know this to do the, you know what I'm saying?
was like,
My
Simone,
fault,
what
bro.
an idiot. Could defeat an unknown
He over
monster.
here,
brother, shut up, bro.
you feel me?
You're
Over
not
here
in the
glazing
field,
and
bruh.
hating
But
this
this right
shit.
here is where it gets crazy. Nia was in the sky like, we the anti-spiral have decided we no longer like you niggas. We seen y'all talking about some Dubai 6'7" mustard KSI Labubu. Prepare to die. Rossi, you, who is the anti-spiral? Don't tell me my is going. Hey, brother, I'm sorry to tell you, but they just found my original birth certificate, and it turns out my real name is Anti-Spiral. That's crazy. She want me now. But the whole city was spamming the government, pissed off because, you know, their house just blew up. But meanwhile, we see Rossi, you.
And the craziest part, you see how quickly they became soft? 7 years ago, he was in the field, bombs going off left and right, but now it's like, oh yeah, we just got protected from a world-ending threat, and it's not even like, it's not even reasonable. Like, oh, I'm worried about da-da-da. You're gonna give us insurance, da-da-da. No, these niggas are actually calling in angry as fuck. Like, they wanted him to just let it run rampant and destroy their homes.
And this man recreated the Spiral King, but now he's looking more like Goku, not gonna lie.
to
Meanwhile,
AI.
Simone was sad because, you know, his girl's with me now, but then she pulled up on him. Nia, don't tell me you're really going. Simone, we are done. I'm with you as the Shine Master now. What? I ain't buy you no Birkin for nothing. I'm leaving, and the Spiral power will soon destroy the universe. It was getting tragic, bruh, but they was also dropping bombshells galore. Part 2 was definitely growing on me watching it back.
Yeah.
See,
like-
y'all was hating on me, but I was with
Back
that
after
nigga back
back.
in the day. I was fighting to protect the universe from the anti-spiral, but they jumped me. Bro, why are you lying, though? No one jumped you, bro. Alright, I'm lying, but the anti-spiral set up an annihilation device. When life forms on this planet hit their limit, it activates.
Wait, so they smoked the Spiral King for damn near no reason. He was really out here saving
There was a reason. He's not saving people. Running away from a problem is not, you get what I'm saying? The spiral power might destroy the universe. We do live underground with a food crisis, and we can't eat. You feel me? It's like, come on, bro. It's not
people, but they
saving
killed
nobody.
him
That's
and put him
pussy.
inside of a pot. But basically, they said in 3 weeks, the moon will fall down and destroy the earth.
It would have been better if he just pulled a Rasu. He let his live on the surface, and he did what they did in Rasu's village, where it was like, oh, once a certain amount of people happen, da-da-da, or like certain times of the year they ban births, and it's like, instead of having to get rid of people, literally just have it to where we only have births this time of the year, and you can't have another birth until like 2 years go by, which gives the older people time to die, or people to die from unnatural accidents and whatnot, and then you can start having births again. Something like that, like a regulation like that, would have been less pussy than like just hiding and going, well, to keep underground, it'll stay under that number. Like, what? Bro?
And Nia's actually the anti-spiral.
While he was living, well, you could argue he was living a lonely life up there, but like while he was sitting there essentially living carefree, You know?
vessel. She flew away, summoning a bunch of them
Literally
robots,
as a queen.
and they started terrorizing a bunch of civilians. I'm not gonna lie to you. Like, damn, bruh. They just got freed from living in the mud, and now they gotta deal with some robots? But of course, Simone had to
It's been
pull up
7
and
years.
tell them
They've had
boys are
enough
really
freedom.
tough out here. This transformation
Control.
is like gold to my eyes, just shining. Bro styled a mech. I don't
yeah,
even know
the
how that's
animation.
possible. He pulled up trying to drill
They did
one of
their
them,
thing,
but he
bro.
literally hit him with a full counter. He went crashing
Damn.
down, but caught himself and listened to these bum civilians.
Don't say
You guys
sorry
okay?
now. You've done enough damage.
Yo, let the whole city burn, bruh. These guys are too ungrateful. I would have joined the enemy team.
It's dead ass like it's Loki worse, but it's similar to the Naruto joint where they're like, oh, the demon brat. If I'm this demon that you claim I am, I can smoke you right now. Why are you giving me an incentive? That makes zero sense. Bro.
Instantly. But he flew back up there and cut the anti-spiral into pieces.
Got the
Then
dub.
had Dari and Gimme shoot down the fragments so it didn't hurt
Before they
anyone.
hit
With
the
this,
ground.
Team Gurren defeated the anti-spiral
Easy
bums.
win.
But I just knew. I heard some little fly buzzing around in my ear.
Go back to the tunnels, you digger. You ruined everything. We hate you.
They was hating on
I
this
knew
man
I heard a
for
bum
saving
ass
the
nigga.
planet yet again. And y'all wonder why I wasn't liking this part as a kid. I just didn't like the Simone hate. And then after all
Yeah.
this, Rossi pulled up and he said some,
Simone, make sure you don't drop the soap, buddy.
ain't no way he's slamming bro, and put this man in prison with Big Black Tyrone because he saved the
Literal
world.
beast
Yo, the
man, by
hate
the way.
I feel for Rossi is crazy, bruh. Someone beat his ass, bro. We need a whooping on Rossi,
It's good for
bruh.
his
The
character.
only thing saving him is Ichigo's voice actor. They start riding,
The goat.
and they had the on Rossi, bruh. The only thing saving him is Ichigo.
The GOAT, man. Top 5, Lorenthal, in no particular order. Lorenthal, Bosch, Sabbath, Seats, Bosch, Lorenthal, Sabbath, Seats. You could go Goku. Pappenbrook. Those are on everything. That's my top 5. Honorable mention, Alex Lee.
Voice actor. They start riding, and they had the nerve to destroy Kamina statue. Meanwhile, Rossi had bro in jail, and he said,
It's a good thing Kamina died. We needed a sacrifice.
"This might be top 10 anime
He's
switch
talking
ups."
crazy.
He's dissing his own.
But this is parallels. Simone grew up. He's a man now. Rashi never had a chance to grow up. He just essentially became a bitch. Because Simone was raised up on Kamina's back and he never had a chance to grow on his own. When he went through his depression, he grew up on his own. Rashi was in a village where he didn't have freedom of speech. He came out of the village and then was just riding on the team's meat. And then Simone did earlier to him say like, oh, you think everything's because of God, right? So God took bro from me, right? Why your God didn't come save us then, nigga? So this is kind of payback in that regard. But it does show that Rashi has like kind of regressed. He sees what Simone and them do as like, oh, it's luck. He sees it as luck. So he's like, I want a surefire way of it's low-key pussy shit. I want a surefire way of victory. And it's not advancement. Some of it is advancement, like technological advancement. But his joint is more of like, oh, let's predict everything. Let's try to stop. It's like trying to control what can't be controlled. It's like trying to catch the wind with your hands like these. Or catch water like this. It's going to slip through your fingers, bro.
Deads. What did they do to bro? But the mechanic, yeah, he didn't change at all. He's
But
still
he's
hitting on
essentially trying to
minors.
prove-
Goodness, what a thing to say. Oh, you, what shall I do to close that mouth of yours?
Since I was a kid,
They're
this
on
is
the
the one
goat, though.
guy I can't deal with.
You're a victim.
Bro really just hit the evil Sonic freaky emote. Like, how did he get that out the item shop? They had my boy Simone on trial, and they didn't even let him
trial.
plead his
Wanting a fair
case. It was
trial.
an instant death sentence, and only Kitan came to defend him. How you the judge,
sir.
prosecutor, and the jury, bruh? You cannot do that. Bro really rigged the trial and wrote in the contract, if Simone is guilty, he becomes a new commander. There is no way
That
he
nigga
set this
definitely
all
plotted
up.
that
But that
shit.
was before aliens came to attack them, because after that he said, oh shit,
Because again, he was trying to prove like my way works better than your way.
Simone, go handle them. But not before he put a human hostage and
Strap a
explosives
bomb.
inside Gurren Lagann.
Kitan's sister, by the way, and she loves him. So she did this because she wanted to show her love for him, not seeing how sick it is that that you love put your life in danger. Because he said, Simone and them get shit done. I don't want you being reckless and going out in a blaze of glory. So I'm gonna put somebody you care about in there so you come back alive so you can go to prison. How grimy of a nigga do you have to be to do some shit like that?
What is wrong with this man? Simone went and pulled up on them, but it turns out them boys moving like Wally West. They was flying across the whole map, and he was getting swarmed by them, so he had to lock in and start charging up some drills. Bro used that Meliodas full revenge counter, took out the whole platoon like it was some light work. Now after saving the world, he was finally freed from jail. Just kidding, alright? He's back in jail. I feel like the
You feel
TK
me?
status report page. Bro been tweeting he's still in jail for 7 years straight, but they locked this man up with V-Real too. He was literally watching the
He didn't show the scene. That nigga Kitan checks the fuck out of Rashi, bro. Walks up on that nigga, sees his sister come out, and he's like, hell is going on here? He slaps the shit out of Rashi, but then his sister's like, no, I wanted to do that. And then she slaps him. Very important for character.
Moon fall down from his jail cell window.
Time to
Meanwhile, the mechanic is back at it again.
I'm only doing what must be done for humanity, nothing more.
My goodness, well, sounds like the boy's grown into quite a man. Say, would you
See?
care to join?
It's the opposite. He's talking tough. He's saying the right things. Oh, I'm just doing what humanity needs. I'm not God. I'm just preparing for the words. But like, you're confusing preparation for paranoia, which is like making you lack and miss the important things, the lessons that you're supposed to pick up. You get what I'm saying? And that's the difference. Simone is picking up the lessons you need to pick up, but he's not taking enough responsibility to like essentially grab the world by the balls and be like, yo, nigga, I walk shit down. He's being the commander just because I'm the strongest nigga. I gotta be commander. I'm y'all leader. I'm the commander. He's not being a commander on some like, let me make some change. You get what I'm saying? It's like to like overly simplify it and kind of give an analogy that's not one-to-one. It's like a Martin Luther King versus Malcolm X thing. Except Simone's more in the middle. He's like literally at the perfect ground. He needs to be more accepting of change in terms of progressing things. And he like literally be the perfect leader. But Rasu's fucked up in so many ways, but that one way. But people love results, not the shit that comes from the results and the shit you need. So they fuck with Rasu more.
Join me on a date.
How is this man the smartest person in the universe? Apparently, the universe is full of freaks, because they try to catch Simone Lagann in the shower. He had to throw down with a chicken man in prison. But he low-key got some hands, though. The sweep kick is crazy.
Damn.
He's lucky Viral was sliding for him. Bro broke
Yes,
the wall
sir.
using this man's face. That's crazy. Then he doubled down, kicking this man's whole body through the wall. They had a whole crowd like it's a UFC, bruh.
And Varia was like, man, you a bitch, nigga. Tommy to walk me down by himself, and you can't even beat this bum?
They was here for the fades. And that's how I know jail is not for me. What do you mean I gotta fight niggas with my meat out, freshly out the shower in front of everyone? But the chicken tried to come back and fight, and this man tripled down, throwing him through the same spot. I honestly didn't think there was someone more sorry than V-Roll. Maybe he does have hands. But either way, they ended up in the hole. But the next day, a bunch of anti-spiral came to destroy them all. So Rossiu decides him and whoever can fit in the ship are leaving. This nigga really a piece of shit.
He's leaving. He's leaving everyone behind.
I ain't gonna
this is
lie.
peak.
Meanwhile, Kitan
Look at this.
was out here saving people, and I was
Look.
leaving. This nigga really a piece of shit, bro. I ain't gonna lie. Meanwhile,
That's Dayaka. Dayaka's a fighter, but Kitan told him to go. He's making sure beastmen, regular people, he's making sure they make it out. And that's his niece that was just freshly born. And he tells him to get out of there. And he's walking
Kitan
down
was out
with
here
them
saving
niggas
people, and I was fighting.
with a fucking shotgun. And he said, I'm not letting my niece die in a cringy... He said, I'm not letting my niece die in a dingy old alleyway. Bring it on, nigga.
Aliens with nothing but a gold pump. How did bro get his hands on a spaz? I can't even get one of those in my reload match.
That's
I'm telling you,
goated.
bro. He was
That's
out here
goated,
doing
man,
some
shit.
damage. I'm not gonna lie, he was pressing, bro. Until this man did more damage.
shit.
He was finna murk Kitan, but Makin had to pull up and save this man from the anti-spiral.
Yes, sir.
He also delivered him his old gunman. And it turns
Oh,
out the reason why
yeah.
the new gunmen can't do any damage is because they aren't designed to fight anti-spiral like the OG ones were. But
Yeah.
before Rasu could dip, Kitan pulled up and said, "You ducking fades? That's immediate DP. Hand over C."
Yeah, nigga said... But you know what he said? This showed me something. He said, Rashu, I get you want to leave, but that's just not us. We got to fight. Give me the drill. That's his soul, Rashu. That nigga slipped his little bro.
Simone's chain. You are not from here. He really had to
my
unequip
God,
his
bro.
chain and place it
I'm
in
about to
Kitan's
rewatch that
hands.
shit.
That's
I'm
how you know
rewatching
he's
it this
sorry.
Christmas,
Bro took off
this
leaving
December,
Simone, and the rest
this
of the world
winter
to
arc.
die. Just to find out it was a trap. Anyone that tries to leave gets blasted on. Meanwhile,
nigga.
Yoko pulls up to break Simone
Yes,
out of jail.
sir.
She left 7 years ago to be with me, but now she's back, okay? They also free V-Roll from jail, and now he's back in control of Team
got that
Gurren,
shit
and
on.
yes, they are finna go slide. So while Ross was
sir.
getting terrorized in space, they decided to pull
squad
up
pulls
and
up.
save that bum of a man. The whole team was out here,
After he
and they
betrayed
was
him,
putting
by
in
the
some
way.
work to save Rossiu. Now the
Look at
other team
Kitan's
saved that bum of
back.
a man. The whole team was
Look
out
at the
here, and
eyes.
they was putting in
Like, bro, this
some work
is
to
so
save Rossi.
peak.
Now the other team, yeah, they was getting wiped, but they found out the moon was literally a giant robot beefing with them. What is happening in the show? Simone had a lock-in,
Hey.
taking off his jetpack and turning into two massive boomerangs. He cocked it back, throwing them things, and blew up part of the moon.
Kobe.
Then it came back and they caught it, getting their jetpack back. I can't even lie,
He was still-
they was fresh for that. That was
He-
part of the moon. Then it came back
He's floating without the jetpack right now.
and they caught it,
Police
getting their
space.
jetpack back.
But, like,
I
you
can't
shouldn't
even
be able to
lie,
just
they
sit
was
still in
fresh for that.
space
That was
like
clean.
that.
But then the moon tried to bounce back, sending all this energy their way. It was looking like they was finna get
Drill.
cooked. But my boy Simone might just be Goku. He
Warm-up
tanked the
time,
whole
nigga.
hit, then pulled up with all the energy. My man used a spirit bomb and sent it flying the moon's way, put them boys in distress. Right here I realized Simone is stronger than half the anime characters I know. He might really be up there. After this,
If you
he stole
watch
all the
the show,
robots,
he
fusing them
gets
with the Art
turned up to
Gurren, the
boundless.
Gurren Lagann to make the Art Gurren Lagann. It
I
felt
would
like I was
argue
watching some
boundless.
OG Power Rangers
You can
for a
argue,
second.
like,
He might be the dude that runs
outer
Los Santos
version or
Custom.
some
They
shit.
then pulled up to the op ship and uppercut it. Had that man
Maybe
flipping off
even
like a
higher outer
pancake.
version.
Bro hit the home run literally. It flew out the universe. They just hit a Smash Bros finisher like it was nothing. But the moon was still falling down on Earth, and it turns out the moon is actually the Spiral King's old ship.
Look at
So when
this
he's about
shit.
to take over the moon, Nia gets in the
They
way.
put his
But he was
bid,
like,
bruh.
just who the hell do you think I am? And smacked it right in the face with his wheel. He's moving
she
like
moved out
CD
the
with a
way.
boss. At that point, he took over the moon, and now he has a moon-sized ship. But he didn't actually smack Nia. She pulled
Bullshit.
up on bro and said the anti-spiral forces will slide over this. Then she was recalled to the anti-spiral's home, with Simone and the
get her
gang
memory,
promising
so
they'll
they
get her
won't
back
slide
later. So they went back to
forward, yeah.
Earth to chill out for a bit. They were out here having a mission meeting for how they're gonna get this done. But wait, do you hear that? Do you hear that? It's a little quiet, huh? Because Rossi
Rossi
isn't in your
bitch ass
ear
ain't
crying. He was in his old village like, I'm really a jester ass nigga. I should just die.
That's literally what happened. He's like, yo, I'm such a bitch, bro. I told them my way would save us, and I literally almost got everyone killed.
He thought I was gonna feel bad. No, bro. No, bro. I was watching this with a jackpot in my eyes. I won the lottery, bro. I've never been more happy. But then Simone came to save him. Simone hopped out
Let
this
me
man
see
like a
you
real drive-by
grit
pro.
those
It said, let me see you
teeth."
grit those teeth. Punching this suicidal man down to the
Iconic.
floor. Like, damn, bro.
You get what I'm saying? Because Kamina did that for him. And when he did that for him, he didn't become a man yet because he hadn't gone through enough like strife because Kamina was still alive. But Rasu just went through the strife because he thought he lost everyone. You get what I'm saying? So like literally Simone developed as a man and then kind of became stagnant because he was just doing whatever Rasu told him to do. While Rasu became he stayed being a child, he kind of reverted. Like he looked like he was getting better, but it was all fake. You know, so here when Simone hits him with let me see you get those teeth, it's not only important psychologically for Rasu's character, it's not also a good callback to what Kamina did for him. But it's like if they're gonna go to war, I need someone here that I can trust to keep everyone safe. And now that you've let all that paranoia go and you're using your smarts for what they're supposed to do, saving people's lives, you my nigga, bro. Do what you gotta do. Keep our people safe, bro.
Almost did a job for him. It's
sure I
whatever
have a
though. He's
home to
back on
come
the
back
team,
to.
I guess. So they decide to teleport through space to Nia. But there's a bunch of enemy ships in their way. So they start whipping them boys. It was a little fishy though. They was beating them a little too easy. Meanwhile,
Yeah.
Simone was charging up the ship to
Fighting
make the
for his
galaxy
life.
Gurren.
Yeah, that shit
But
on.
it turned out the robots were actually meant to be destroyed. A bunch of them surrounded
Oh, please,
Zorky, and he
bro.
said, well, I've come a long way. And just like
They just started smoking niggas, bro.
that, he blew up, bro. Oh my Eustace. It's getting real out here. Then the kid in Iraq got surrounded.
That shit was so gangster. Hold on.
He blew up, bro. Oh my Eustace. It's getting real out here. Then the kid
I think Kid ran out of ammo, so Iraq was like, fuck it. Tossed him a blick and said, let's go back to back. Nigga, like good old times. And they just started blicking shit, bruh. And he was like, damn, if I gotta go out, I'm glad it's with my nigga.
in Iraq got surrounded, they
That
called
shit doing
Simone
something to my
and told him
brain
he
right
could do
now,
this.
bro.
As they fought to their death, eventually dying. Yo, we losing everyone to these skinny little disc robots? Are we serious right now? There's no way a ship the size of the moon doesn't have some type of massive cannon that could just blow them all up.
It's not
Then they
enough.
sent out a
These niggas are using probability altering attacks, bro. A big gun is not good
massive
enough.
rocket towards the ship, and Makin had to go out, cutting it in half. Bro had to tank a whole nuke.
He has kids, by the way.
Another OG down. Then Gimme and
What
Dari
the
were
fuck,
getting jumped
bro?
out there. It was looking like they were
Moving out my
finished.
ghost
So
organ and
Jerkin and
Balamo.
Gurren pulled up to save them. They was out here getting whooped, so they had to just accept their
Nigga, they were like, bro, oh, Mextro.
Bro had to
it's
take a
gonna be
whole
okay.
nuke. Another
They're like gonna die, and they know they can die, and they're still like, these are their comrades, but they're still like reassuring these children, bro.
Another OG down. Then Gimme and Dari
He's like,
were
no,
getting
y'all
jumped out
good.
there.
He has to, because Dari got shot. And Gimme, her brother, was like, I'm gonna stay here with you. So he started trying to 1v1 them while holding her because she has no way of getting back. So they knew if he did that, they both were gonna die. So then Jorgen and Balabo came and just like held them so they couldn't get shot at. Like,
It was a
Y'all
like
niggas
they were
weren't there,
finished.
bro.
So Jerkin and Goonan pulled up to save them. They was out here getting whooped. So
nigga.
they had to just accept their fate and start laughing their ass off. I'm not gonna lie, they went out in the
Real
realest
nigga
way.
shit.
What a sad
Facts.
episode though. Half the crew is gone. Rest in
That's
peace,
it.
my brothers
I cry every
Jerkin
time.
and Goonan. At least by the end though,
Jorgen
Simone was
and
able to
Balamo,
transform the
like
ship into a fighting mech to beef with anyone. But in
Some long time in
episode
it.
25,
Also, Pete, he's not at the point now where death can easily change his dissolve. He's come to a point where he realizes that Kano would want him to move forward in the same way. These people didn't give up for me to be a bitch and lose.
Things started getting weird. My son Buddha had to start
Go to the
powering
goat,
the ship.
trust.
They was trapped in the space ocean. They had to
That nigga Keaton.
use some bomb to save themselves. They started losing me around this part. I ain't gonna
Doesn't
lie.
work.
Yoko was about to.
Basically, it's a C because it's density. So what you forget is the air around us is kind of like water. They have different densities, but you have to understand water is the best way for you to model in your head how gases work. If I were to drop a gas that was thicker than oxygen in this room, it would like sink and like stay on the floor of the room to the point where you scoop it in your hands. It's not going to be water, but there are gases that are like dense enough to where they almost have the density of water, because water is the middle state. So it doesn't have enough intermolecular forces. It has more intermolecular forces than gases, so it holds itself together like these. The molecules are like these, while solids are like these, right? So you get a gas that's dense enough, it starts getting closer to water. It's never going to touch water because then it becomes a liquid, but it gets really close. So they were in a period of space where the space itself was becoming so dense that it acted as if it was water. And they were sucking them in, and as you know, the bottom of the ocean has high pressure. Similar scenario, but we're dealing with space. So instead of an ocean, which the ocean's huge, compared to space, which is way more massive, you can imagine how much tens of thousands of hundreds of millions of times the pressure was worse.
Sacrifice herself, but Kitan pulled up and said,
Kitan
nah.
walks in
Then he
there.
nigga
Stays
kissed
in
her.
the
Oh,
bed.
hell no.
That's how you know you're gonna die, bro.
It's supposed to be mine. Now this episode filler, bro. I don't even. This episode filler, bro. But Kitan flew up to his death, saying,
This is not filler, nigga. He said, "So long, bozos, nigga." He was like, that nigga's tough.
I'm not saying some lame shit like Hasta la Vista. I'ma holla at y'all niggas soon. And that's when he
Let's
pulled
off
up
the
to deliver some hands
rocket.
before he.
Let's off the rocket. Because he wasn't supposed to die. The rocket gets crushed, so he says, the mech gets crushed.
Turned to dust, and
Okay, this is after that. The mech gets crushed. And they're like, oh no, he died. And then he's like, I took a broken drill off of Gurren Lagann earlier. And what he said? He said, just in case it would come in handy. Nigga said, this is Simon's soul. Team Gurren's soul. And actually, it's my soul. Absolutely taps into spiral power for the first time. Because remember, the reason they couldn't damage the anti-spiral mechs is their mechs are running off electricity, not spiral power. Because too much spiral power alerts the anti-spirals. That's why when 1 million humans are on the surface, they know. So those mechs ran off of electricity. But Gurren and Lagann kind of don't. Lagann's a special model, but Gurren and Lagann run mainly off spiral power because humans have spiral power. These niggas, these like, no disrespect, Keaton, these kind of grunt ass niggas just don't have as much as Kamina and Simone do. So even though they're using spiral power, it's a majority electric because beastmen don't have spiral power. So they pilot these mechs purely
this
off
man started
electricity.
laughing. I ain't gonna lie, he is the MVP of this whole part 2 of the show. I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. He's the new
Keaton
Kami.
the GOAT.
At this point, Simone had to lock in and buy himself another new fit and upgraded the ship yet again. So bro literally pulled up
Standing
on God
menacingly.
and he was throwing play into this man, but Simone just ate it all. He
No damage. Mind you, peep what happened earlier. When Lord Genome was using his mech's power, nuclear level damage, using his mech's power, like people are like, oh, without the mech, you're useless. No, he was using spiral power, which powers the mech, without being in the mech. And he was able to tank Gurren Lagann's attacks and throw attacks back that damaged Gurren Lagann. Or Lagann, at least.
pulled out his new and improved
So all this planet tanking shit, you could argue Simone can do in base, if not worse. Because again, pressure over area. The smaller area, instead of spreading out his spiral power evenly through this shit like veins and bones and skin, all of that energy is just focused on the tiny him in there.
boomerang glasses and started destroying planes.
It's like Dragon Ball reference. Grade 4? It's like Goku and Gohan when they mastered Super Saiyan compared to Trunks and Vegeta where they got the bulky Super Saiyan. This is the bulky Super Saiyan. in his base form, he can use his power more
But
efficiently.
then the anti-spiral had to shine his light on Simone, and this man was a goner, bro.
Put them in
Look at his
genjutsu.
face, he's geeking. He got trapped in another timeline, and in this world,
Yep.
Kamina's still alive,
Kamina's
and
a
now here
bitch-ass
robbing.
nigga.
But even imagining Kamina is imagining freedom. So the Kamina of that world set this man free. So then Simone pulled in Kamina
He's tripping. That's not what happened.
is imagining freedom. So the
He imagined Kamina, but Kamina was a bitch. When he saw Kamina being a bitch, he was like, damn, my big bro never been a bitch. Even though he's in a genjutsu, he shouldn't know that. He shouldn't be able to sense the original timeline. But he was like, damn, my big bro never been a bitch ass nigga. So when he sensed that, the real Kamina showed up. I was like, what are you doing here? Da-da-da. And then once he got out of the illusion, he sees his actual brother. And they're talking. And then Kamina's like, yo, when did you get taller than me, kid? He's like, I guess I am.
Kamina of that world
That
set
shit's
this man
so calm.
free. So then Simone pulled back up into the real world and saved Nia. Then had another
Saved his
form
bitch.
and started fighting God.
And now, people think these are galaxies, but I've heard that these are universes. Let me see. I think I said that wrong. People think these are like, hold on. Galaxy definition. Let's get a million and billions of stars. Universe definition. All existing matter in space considered as the whole. Everything within like your time space, pretty much. But I've heard these were like universes, but people thought these were just like galaxies or just solar systems. But as you can see, there's like a big bang level of energy. Even the author states that like, oh yeah. I just didn't know how to draw those, but these are universes. Either that or he said galaxies. One of
In
the
a
two.
mech. The anti-spiral Loki had some hands though, okay? The overhead kick is crazy. He was out here spamming the RB grab move too.
And they're boxing on non-existent space. There is no ground, but like they're like cosmologically so advanced that they've made their own ground. So this kind of is its own universe in and of itself. Even the anti-spiral himself is a being who lives in between the 11th and 12th dimensions. He created that dimension, and he has a planet that he made there. So there's an argument that he alone is already 11th to 12th dimensional. He has to be 12th dimensional or higher because he's able to comprehend the 12th. He's able to comprehend the 11th, and he made his own shit right in between. It's not like the 11.5 dimension. He made his own dimension in between those two. Type shit. And this didn't boxing scene.
Had Simone getting mixed up. He was out here fighting like he'd been here before. He's used to this. He had Simone looking like he fell down on the treadmill. Bro was rolling across the whole galaxy. This man started grabbing universes and throwing them at Simone.
Yeah.
Then Simone pulled up and they started fighting like it was some bleach. They was really out here going hand for hand with them swords, I ain't gonna lie to you. Then the anti-spiral jumped up and down slammed Simone like we in APA right now. I'm not gonna lie,
Through
he was
universes.
okay getting tossed. I don't think Simone and down slammed Simone like we in APA.
You know how many timelines just got
right
fried?
now. I'm not gonna lie, he was okay getting tossed. I don't think Simone did any damage so far. It's
More
looking rough
energy
for
than the
bro.
Big
Until
Bang.
the anti-spiral tried to reach out for Earth. Simone went out and snatched this man up across the
That's a lot
map.
to
Then pulled up
fuck
for the
in,
last
nigga.
blow, trying to destroy the anti-spiral. We
Huss,
gotta watch
huss,
as his shit
huss.
broke down, getting smaller and smaller, down to just him and
Just
Nia.
to 1v1
Then
the
Simone,
nigga.
Nia, and Lagann
I need to watch the movies. In the movies, he boxed him with his bare hands.
pierced the heart of the anti-spiral, defeating
Also, with the dimensions and shit, that reality he was seeing was not a genjutsu. He was put into another dimension. His consciousness was sent to another dimension. And then the breakout, what Simone did is he fused with every possible version of himself. And that's where the boundless allegations come from. Not from this. This is not a boundless feat. Lifting universes, which constantly have been expanding for billions of years, that to me is not a tough feat. It's cool. It's cool, especially because, again, as we just saw, this nigga was tanking getting hit by universes, and Simone in base is able to pierce through the nigga. But the strongest part is that he fused with every version of himself. Spiral power is like one of the greatest hacks in anime. It's not like crazy reality warp, well, it kind of is, but it's not like at the highest levels. It's not really known about, but it gave him the same powers as Ki. But as you can see, as long as you have spiral power, you can do anything. It's kind of like plot manipulation. You get what I'm saying? So it's kind of like being a gag character, except he's not a gag character. It's a shonen. You get what I'm saying? And because he fused with every version of himself, even if every version of himself only had one spiral power, one infinite times is still infinity. So that means he has an infinity amount of spiral power. Spiral power can do shit like that. Spiral power can have you tank universes and shit. You get what I'm saying? So like he has essentially no threshold to his power at this point in time. That's what that proved. And again, if you know calculus, if you know higher level math, some infinities are bigger than other infinities. So the fact that the nigga already had damn near boundless power before this, because mind you, we're in space, we're surviving a sea in space that is huge as hell. I'm taking planets being thrown at me. So that amount of spiral power, whatever a number is, the number could be 1, the number could be 100 million, or whatever unit of measurement we have for spiral power. And then that Simone, that 100 million, if all of them have relative spiral power to himself, 100 million infinite times. It's 100 million infinities. You get what I'm saying? It's still infinity, but it's so much bigger than regular infinity. So yeah, that's where like the boundless allegations in my mind come from, especially because they show that one of the versions of himself he fuses with is someone who wrote the story. So like he in universe doesn't have an author. The author is himself from another dimension. Or, you know, one version of himself is at least dimensionality enough to break that fourth wall, and it's 3D, like he's real like us. Like in the confines of the show, a version of him is a real person and not an anime character. He's already a real person from his perspective. So they already live in the 3D world. But as we know, they have the 11th and 12th dimension. So they live in a 12th dimensional world plus. This version of him is beyond that, because to hit that version of him, this is a book. So that version of him, in their terms, is like 20 of dimension, all types of shit. And he fused with that person. You get what I'm saying? So that's where the boundless argument came from.
And with that, this man smoked the ruler of all the universes and galaxies, bro. I ain't gonna lie, he a top 10 anime character for being honest, bro. He's taking Goku any day. Then he got home with Mia, and they have a very nice wedding. My son really made it. I hope all my birdhouse niggas make it too. Wait, what's happening? No, Nia, no, you can't go. Nia, what about his happy ending? Yeah.
He doesn't get a happy ending.
In the end, Simone can't have shit. Actually, such a sad show.
And then he's asked by, go into the hacks part, he's asked by Gimme to bring people back, and he doesn't say he can't. He says I could, but that would be like a disrespect to them, and we need to move forward. We can't move forward if everyone who dies is brought back. So spiral power again, him there implies that he can do that. Kamina coming back from the dead shows that with spiral power, even if you're killed, you can come back to life. So it's like multiple times over and over again, it's shown that spiral power is like this infinite hack almost. But they still wrote the story compelling enough for it to be interesting, even though this nigga technically has like writer level abilities. But yeah, appreciate y'all for watching. That was some calm. Hold on, that shit just dropped. Yeah, that shit going on my. It's going in this playlist too. It's only 13 minutes. Sorry, I had to see that. Appreciate y'all boys for watching. As always, stay happy, healthy, and hydrated. You know what time to catch me next. Peace.